And this has been my kitchen. Let's see. Broccoli. Ew. Check. Cornish game hens. Check-a-rooney. Stovetop stuffing. Always. Some cheesy bacon macaroni. Oh, check. A bowl full of Velveeta shreds. Check. And looks like I'm all ready to go. I have to ask you a question. Do you feel like having a nice delicious turkey dinner but don't want the hassle of having to baste it and bake it for 4 hours, spending most of your day in the kitchen when you could be off doing something else? Well, go do something else. Later on, all you gotta do is just pick up some of these little Cornish game hens. They're little tiny miniature turkeys, and they all come with the same things that regular turkeys come with. You get the giblets, the livers, the gizzards, all that stuff to make your giblet gravy with later. But we're just going to show you how to make the traditional and basic Cornish game hen. Since we're baking this, we can prepare it the same way we do a turkey, and it'll taste just as good. So, here's what we're going to do. We have seasonings, we have butter, and lots of sides. We've got vegetables going here. We're going to steam our broccoli tonight with some tarragon seasoning by McCormick, so get some of this stuff. It'll really do wonders for your greens. And the late, great Chef Paul Prudhomme. We're still using your seasoning, Chef. And that's going to go over our Cornish game hens. But first, the preparation. What you're going to need is a stick of butter. Now, when you have your stick of butter, I have this separated basically because I have 1.5 tablespoons of butter that's going to go into our cheese when we melt it in the microwave. But the rest of this is going to go over our Cornish game hen, and I hope it's warmed up enough to where we can do that. So take this stick of butter just like you would a regular turkey, take it in your hand. If you want to, mash it up really good, turn it into a buttery, mashy, crackly, greasy, sticky mess till you get some weird sculpture that you would try to make in arts and crafts when you were 5 years old and making soap crafts, and you present this to your teacher and say it's a dove. But no, we're working with butter today, and all you got to do is just get a little piece of that squished up butter that you made and just use that as a nice rub for your Cornish game hens. Get all over, front, back, up, down, under the wings, around the legs, all over. Yeah, get a lot of that all over because you got a lot of butter to work with. You might as well put it to good use. Go for your next one. Do the same thing. We want these nice and moist because these are going to be the most tenderest, juiciest, moistest, if those are even words, Cornish game hens you could ever put in your mouth, on your plate, on your table. Share it with friends and family. It's going to be an amazing dish. Oh yeah. Up there it is. And don't lose track of your butter. Continue with the 3. Well, we're going to make 4 of them today because we are 4 very hungry people who love our poultry. And would you believe there are some people here that have never had Cornish game hens before? Perish the thought. So we're going to introduce them to it tonight. Really, really wonderful recipe it is. Now, before you prepare your Cornish game hens, it's always imperative first that you make sure you take out those giblets and lizards and gizzards and everything else, and you'll find them in a little tiny paper or plastic bag inside the cavity of the Cornish game hens. So you want to take those out, set those aside, and you can make a giblet gravy out of those if you want to. But we're just going to make our good old Cornish game hens as best as we can, as best as we know how. And if you have any excess butter, like you're going to have, then just take a little bit on the top here and just put pieces of it on top of your Cornish game hens, because they're going to melt and cook really well and just slide right all over your Cornish game hens when it's in the oven baking. There we go. Oops. Let me put this one over here. There we go. Okay, beautiful. Just a minute, let me wash the butter off my finger. Where ordinary hot water fails, soap prevails. So use a lot of it during this recipe. And now that your hands are 100% clean, now we can continue. Because not only have you handled really ooey gooey butter, you've also handled raw poultry, and you don't want to spread salmonella. So it's always best to try to have some antibacterial soap at your disposal so that prevents the spreading of any bacteria. Now that that's ready, what we're going to do is we're going to take, and just over the top of it, we don't have to do it all over, but just over the top, take your Chef Paul Prud'homme's Poultry Magic Seasoning, and you're just going to go over the top of it just like this, nice and light. Get it nice and nice. Oh, that's looking nice. I like the color and the smell and the flavor of Chef Paul Prud'homme seasonings. There you go. So what we're going to do is we're going to preheat our oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And these guys are going to go 50. Stay. Okay. And then once that oven is preheated, we're going to slide these guys in for 1 hour's time. Only 1 hour. You don't have to babysit it. You don't have to baste it. All you got to remember is first dress it with the butter, and then cover it with Chef Paul Prud'homme Poultry Magic Seasoning. Third, you take your Reynolds Wrap foil. And what we're going to do is we're going to go over the top and just let this thing cook covered. I got some more space, so let me move these guys out of the way so I can have more room. Oh, heavy. Ooh, that's heavy. Alright, I still managed. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to cover this up really good. Make sure you don't have any parts sticking out because we don't want that to dry up. You want to really cover this up as best as you can. That way it locks in all that steam. And your Cornish game hens will turn out so moist and juicy that way. Now since there's a little bit of opening here, I'm just going to apply a little more sheet over here and cover up the rest of that. And it'll be nice and tight, sealed. No steam will be escaping this. Incidentally, about 10 minutes in before we pull it from the oven and serve it, we're going to stuff it with some stovetop stuffing into those little cavities. And then, even if you don't have any twine or string or anything, don't worry about it. They're not going to be in there for very long after you stuff them. But if you like stuffing them from the get-go, you might want to invest in some cooking twine, you know, for tying up poultry, some poultry string or whatever they call it. I just call it twine. But make sure it's not the type that you pick up at the hardware store, because who wants all that in your food? Yeah, that tastes worse than broccoli. Without the cheese. No, you want to find some that is perfectly usable for your foods, as poultry especially, and they'll have it in your grocery stores. All you got to do is just look for it. But we are ready to go, and look how nice and tight that covers. So we need all of the coverage that we can, so it locks in all that flavor and moisture, and that way your Cornish game hens will stay just as juicy when you pull them out. So in 10 minutes before we pull it out and serve it, we're going to stuff them with stuffing, and we're going to serve it on the side with some broccoli and cheese that have been steamed in tarragon and just a little bit of water, and our cheesy bacon macaroni to go on the side of that. So it's going to be a really insanely delicious dish. I can't wait. My mouth is watering. So when that oven preheats, we're going to slide it in. We'll show you what it looks like 10 minutes beforehand when we stuff it. All of this stuff will be ready, and I'll even show you how to do the broccoli, which won't take very long. Probably 5-10 minutes tops, and I am excited about this. So just think, a turkey, almost tasting turkey dinner without the hustle and bustle, the fuss, the muss, and all that other stuff that goes along with cooking a turkey dinner. This way everybody can have whatever they want, because they get the hen, the whole hen, and nothing but the hen. Cornish game hens. What a concept. We'll show you what that looks like when we're ready to pull it out, and we'll show you where to go from there. And by that time, a lot of this stuff will be done and out of the way, because I don't think I need to show you how to make stovetop. I don't think I need to show you how to make this stuff. But for your broccoli, though, that's something I will show you. So tune in for that, and I'll show you exactly how to make your broccoli taste wonderful. Because I know everybody hates broccoli. Well, not everybody. I like broccoli, if it's cooked the right way. But if you cook it my way, you'll be cooking it the right way. Because I hate broccoli when it's cooked the wrong way. Let's face it. Get them taste buds ready, you'll need them. I'd like to point out that I'm actually wearing something new. This isn't a Christmas attire, as you can see. This is a robe that we picked up at GameStop. And yeah, it looks like a Christmas robe from the top, from the midsection up. But from the rest of it, you know, you don't see the white underneath. It still looks like a Christmas robe, doesn't it? I'll turn it around to the back. Ta-da! It's a Pokemon robe. You gotta love it. I mean, any Pokemon fan in the world would kill to have something like this. And only at GameStop can you find this. I've gone online to look for this thing, and I can't find any, not even a picture of it. But I went to GameStop, there it was right there on the shelf, and I knew I had to have one because, hey, gotta catch them all, right? And I just got me a really good one. So, anyway, just thought I'd show that in case you were wondering what I was wearing. Well, it's about an hour. Minus 10 minutes, of course, because we're going to pull it out and stuff the birds. So, are you ready, hot dog? You bet I am. Let's get that hot food. Let's get that hot food. Let's go get it.
Let's get it. Let's get it.
Ooh. Oh, listen to that sizzle. You hear those juices?
Dang.
Some of it spilled out there to the side, too, so you really got to be careful when you lift it.
Don't want to burn yourself. All
right. Ooh. I can hardly wait to see what it looks like now.
Oh wait, should you be throwing away the tin foil?
Yes, because we're going to cook the rest of the 10 minutes uncovered.
Oh, okay.
Because it's going to be a braised, because right now it doesn't look like much.
Uh-huh.
Well, when you braise it after you stuff it, it's going to look like a lot better. But look at how juicy that turned out. Look at all those juices in there. Isn't that
Look
amazing?
at all that butter.
All of that butter. As Paula Deen would say, I love cooking with butter. Or however she says it. But anyway, let's go ahead and let that cool, or if you feel confident enough, we got our stuffing already made right over here, and we could actually just take a spoon or something and we can stuff those birds up.
A spoon or something of such.
Yes, a spoon or something. Stuff those cavities with the stuffing. This is the fun part of the job. Now you can do this while it's warm. Best to probably wait till it cools off a little so as to not burn your fingers, but I've handled hot food in the kitchen before, and I know what I'm up against.
I always thought it looked so wrong stuffing turkeys and such like this. It looks so wrong.
Very barbaric, but actually very flavorful when
I know, I'm just joking around. Just, you know.
What's really good about this is when you stuff it like this, when it's still in the pan, you get some of the drippings into your stuffing. And then you just, well, that's hot. Yeah,
it better be hot.
You're going to probably want to wait a little bit to stuff your birds, but I'm impatient and I want to eat sometime this century. I'm doing it right now. And there's no real rule against doing it now or waiting, but just remember how your tolerance for heat goes. And that depends on how long you leave these cooling before you stuff them. Okay, that's good and stuffed right there. It doesn't take a whole lot to stuff these things, because remember, you are working with smaller birds. So, there you have it. That's all it takes to stuff your birds. That's it. And if you really wanted to, like I said, you can take some of that twine and tie the legs together and tie the rest of the way around the wings to hold the wings in place. But we're not really cooking turkeys here. This is Cornish game hens. The rest of that dressing, or stuffing really, we're going to set that aside. And we'll just have that on the side. Now, what we're going to do here is we are going to put those back in the oven for another 10 to maybe 15 or 20 minutes. Or until the top of it is nice and golden brown and you don't produce any pink juices and there's no pink meat underneath. And this is what we call braising. So the recipe isn't quite fully done just yet. And if you really wanted to, folks, you can take a turkey baster with some of these drippings and start drizzling it over. But you know what, since I don't have a turkey baster handy right now, what I can do
spoon
is use that spoon that we used and just do like this with a spoon. Even if you don't have a turkey baster, using a spoon will work wonders. And just do like that, right over it, so that you'll get nice and golden brown. You only need to do this maybe once, or if you feel confident,
confident,
or if you feel confident about it, do it twice. But you only really need to just basically cook the rest of the, you just need to cook it the rest of the way. That's all we're doing really. And so before it goes in the oven, really just give it a nice good coating. And some of the dressing can go on top of it too. That's a nice idea. If you have some of the dressing that falls out, a little bit on top there. But as long as you give it a lot of the drippings here. There you go. Nice and tender and juicy. These Cornish game hens are going to be so good. I just wish everybody was here. Like Paula Deen would say, I wish y'all were here to eat this wonderful food that I'm cooking, because I used to cook for my family and my friends, and they couldn't get enough of it. They would always say, Paula Deen, how do you make your food so good? And I say, with tender love and care, with lots of hugs and 3,000 sticks of butter. I don't really use 3,000 sticks of butter, but it's a rough estimate, y'all.
I only use 1,000.
So, in they go. Oh gosh, am I going to do the rest of the episode as Paula Deen?
Hey there.
Alright, carefully, because that's a lot of dripping stuff to deal with. And cook it the rest of the way, about 15 minutes tops. And we're just going to pull it out in about 10 minutes just to see how far along we are. And if it needs more time, give it more time. But if it's just right, pull them out and serve them up. You'll be surprised with how good they taste. And I'll see you in about 10 more minutes. Actually, since it's only got 10 more minutes, and we've already cooked our stuffing, and look at our mac and cheese with bacon. Look at that. Oh, doesn't that look good? Give that a little stir there. There we go. And then we're going to take the meat fork and put it aside. Now, I bet you're all wondering how to go about steaming your broccoli. Well, let's go ahead and do that now while the birds are in the oven. What you got to do is, you don't need a big fancy vegetable steamer. Just take some fresh broccoli, not frozen and not canned, or do they even have canned broccoli?
I'm sure they do.
Maybe some parts of the world they do. But you want fresh broccoli. Cut into nice florets like this size here.
Little trees.
Little baby trees. Now, all you need is just a little dab of water will do you. Just about enough to cover the center of your skillet.
I heard that you can also do it in like the microwave and stuff too.
You could, but it's best to do it over here because then you can get a good eye on it.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying.
We are going to shake on enough tarragon to flavor it up a bit. Just about maybe a quarter of a teaspoon of tarragon. That's all it will take, just a quarter teaspoon of tarragon. And there you go, a quarter teaspoon. Now just eyeball that figure and swish that water around, get it all nice and coated. Now, if it doesn't look like it's getting everywhere, well, just give it a good swish there. Get it all nice and wet there. Now what you want to do is turn on the fire very low, very, very low, and let it steam. The water from the moisture will help create steam that you're going to lock with the lid. And you maybe just want to leave a little tiny bit for like a breath of air there, just to get the steam to permeate. And then you'll get a good airflow from the back of the pan here and the front of the pan here. So it'll just be a nice good even airflow of steam coming through there, and that'll steam up your broccoli really nice. With the tarragon, we'll make it look nice and lush and very tasty. And we're also going to show you how to melt your own cheese. So if you don't have any Velveeta cheese, melty cheese, then all you got to do is do the next best thing. Get yourself a bag, about 2 cups of shredded cheese, could be any brand, and about a table and a half to 2 tablespoons of butter. And just toss it right into, you can also do this in the microwave, but I prefer doing it on the stovetop so that way you could see what you're working with, and you can add more ingredients along the way.
Melting works better on the stove, I feel too.
It does. Now, while you're getting ready for your melting your butter for going over the top of your steamed broccoli, we're going to add about a cup of milk to this. So the ratio is about 2 cups of cheese, 1 cup of milk, and 2 tablespoons of butter. And we're going to grab our spoon here, and we have to stir until it all melts together.
I always find it weird whenever you get macaroni and cheese, it says to use water instead of butter. I mean, instead of milk.
Well, that's because it has enough dairy in the product itself, and by adding water kind of differentiates the amount of dairy that you take in.
Yeah, but it's a lot better with more milk, though.
It is. I like it better with milk.
Oh, I
anyway.
do too. Even those instant ones, I always add milk in.
And what this is going to do, folks, is it is going to melt into a nice cheese sauce. Now, we want it to be nice and saucy, not too thick, mind you. Nice and saucy, so that it will just go right over the top of our broccoli and just become nice and cheesy and oozing with good cheese. Even if oozing isn't a word, but hey, you know what? It works. It describes the state of cheese when it's melted into the state of a creamy sauce.
It's already starting.
It's already starting there, and the milk is going to help keep its sauciness, and the butter is going to help keep it soft.
That way it doesn't get burnt too.
It doesn't get burnt and doesn't coagulate too much. Okay, now let me turn this up a little more, because now that I'm stirring, I need it to start melting, and it's not melting. As long as you keep it over heat, it will still keep its nice thin consistency, and it will look really wonderful
It does look nice.
when drizzled over your steamed broccoli. And it will keep your cheese sauce from coagulating too much, because you don't want this stuff to be too thick, right? So you just want to have just enough creaminess, and your broccoli will just burst with flavor. And that'll be flavor that you'll want to put in your mouth, trust me. As we look over here to our steamed broccoli, and let's see how far along we're coming. A little bit, yeah, look at that.
Wow, that is greener.
It is. And that tarragon really works wonders, and give a good whiff. Oh, that smells heavenly.
Should we flip them or not?
No, just give it a good swish like this.
Dang, that's
like
green.
That. It is very, very green. And that's one of the beauty parts of steaming with tarragon. It really brings out the green in your broccoli. Just using a little tiny bit of water ensures that your broccoli won't get too soggy too fast. We want this broccoli to be nice and crisp when we're done with it. That's why we use such little water as we do. But if you feel you need to use more water, then just add a little touch more. And we might have to do that. As you can see, there's only just a little tad bit of water
yeah,
in there.
most of it's burned away.
So what we're going to do, it evaporated away.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is, if that happens, come over to the sink and just a little bit more, not too much. Well, maybe a little more than that. Okay, that'll be good. Just like that. Just enough to where you steam it the rest of the way and you don't have to worry about burning. All right, there we go. Now just give it a little bit of breathing space there, and your vegetables will steam right up almost perfectly every single time. And you don't need a big vegetable steamer or something that's really expensive, because you can do it with a skillet, a lid, your vegetables, and a little tarragon. It goes a long way, and it makes your vegetables taste so much better. And you'll get the full nutrients of eating broccoli steamed than you do boiling it or any other means of preparing it. That's why I love steamed vegetables, because all of the nutrients are still represented in what you cook, and it doesn't leach up from the steam. Now let's take a look at our cheese
wow,
again.
is that thickening?
Yeah, you really have to keep stirring this. You really, really, really do. And until you serve it, you pretty much have to keep a good eye on that cheese and just let it, just make sure you're still good. But if you find it's thickening up, then just add a touch more milk and just thin that out a little bit more. Doesn't that look good? Dang, that looks so good. And good enough to put on your broccoli, let me tell you. And then you won't be saying, broccoli, ew! You'll be
still saying broccoli, ew.
Oh, be still my beating heart. I love broccoli. And you'll be saying you love broccoli too, even if you hate it. Look at our broccoli again, and there we go.
Holy
look at that.
cow,
Look at that.
it's
Look
that
at
green.
that. Now, that is perfect. When it gets to be that consistency, that color, and give it a little pinch. That's good, that's good. You want those to be nice and crisp too, but not to where they're underdone. Because what happens with broccoli when you overcook it or oversteam it, or even saturate it with too much water, is what happens is when you cook it, the florets shrink down in size. And not only that, but you lose a lot of your vitamins and nutrients that are inside your broccoli. And all of that is just gone, so that you're just left with a slimy, icky mass of vegetables. And that's not a good way to eat. So if you steam it and leave it fresh, it looks appealing, it tastes appealing, and you're getting the right amount of vitamins and minerals and nutrients that are in your broccoli that you're supposed to get out of fresh vegetables.
Can you do that with carrots?
You can do it with carrots.
Ooh,
You
I
can
want to
do
try
it
that
with
sometime.
Steamed carrots. You can do with steamed carrots. You can steam your
Are they still
cauliflower.
crisp?
They'll still be crisp.
Oh, because that's what I really like about carrots.
Yes. Oh, yes. Well, we'll steam some carrots
Yeah, I
sometime,
love
too.
that.
And cauliflower, you can do that with cauliflower.
We can try
You
that.
can do it with asparagus if you want to. You can do it with anything you want. Brussels sprouts, too.
Ugh.
Now, I don't mind Brussels sprouts as long as they're prepared alongside a nice vinaigrette chicken. Asparagus is good with that dish too, folks. So now that we got our broccoli is finished, our cheese is finished, that's finished, let's take a look at our Cornish game hens and see if they're done. So, hot dog, don't fail me now. Don't worry, I won't let you down. Good, because I'm hoping that I don't get let down by my own oven mitts.
As am I.
Are you upside down? Yeah, I thought the world looked different. Turn around. Yay, that's much better, thank you. Let's go into the oven and just take a look and see how far along we are. Ooh, now that's starting to look like what we like. Now just by looking at it, you can tell that there is some differences. You can see browning going on over here. So that's not quite exactly what I'm looking for, but since we got this pulled out, use this time to check on it after about 10 minutes in the oven like that, then just use some of the driblets, the drippings, and just do another once over like that with the drippings. And just spoon it over, or you can use a turkey baster, however you want. And this will help give a nice golden color on the top as well. And it'll ensure that your Cornish game hens will be just as moist as it is on the inside. Just the way it's supposed to be. Now, as you can see, that pink juice and the pink meat has now become white. Well, as white as you can get. But we're still going to leave this in for another 5 minutes because it's not quite done. You still see just a touch of the maroon color there, and that just means that the pink is now becoming cooked meat. You'll still see a little maroon there, but that just means that it's almost done. So we're just going to leave this in for another 5 minutes, and we're just going to give this a nice drizzling of drippings. Look at that. I am excited about this recipe. I really can't wait to start digging into this. Alright, now with the oven mitt, push it right back in, being very careful not to spill any of the drippings, because it is a nightmare to clean an oven after you've spilled a lot of drippings over it. I should know.
That's the truth.
I should know from experience. And let's take a look at our cheese again. Do we still have this? Oh yeah, look at that. We still have that consistency. Look at that, folks.
It's more thick now, and it looks pretty dang cool.
It does. So if it does become thicker than what you like, you can always turn the heat back up a little bit. But don't turn it up too high. Oh, look at that cheese. I can't wait to eat this. But we have to wait for the dang Cornish game hens. Isn't that justice? I mean, isn't that just typical? You're here, you're ready to serve up, and what takes the longest time? Those darn birds. Well, all for the better, because when it's done, we're going to have some melt-in-your-mouth foods that it just can't be beat. Take another look at our Cornish game hens. Is that what Gordon
That's what I was thinking.
makes? Oh, now
Golden.
Yeah, it is. Now let's take the meat fork here.
That's what I was going to say, and test it.
We're going to test it out by piercing the biggest one here. I'm just going to take a look and see. That meat is very white. Juices are coming up pretty clear, as you can see. Clear juice. And do this into this one here. Oh yeah, that's ready to go. That is ready to go. Prepare our servings. Okay, always make sure that burner is cooled down before you rest any plates on top of it.
Especially plastic.
Plastic or glass. And everybody is going to benefit from how healthy this vegetable dish really is. And not only that, but also how good it can be. Now we're going to take some of the cheese. Right from the spoon, directly over the broccoli. Look at that. Oh, look at how it coats. Isn't that pretty? Okay, not too much. You don't want to overdo it. Oven mitts on. Hot dog on. You got it. And voila. Here it comes. All right, ready, hot dog? All right, here we go. Oh, that's hot, that's hot, that's hot. Well, you are an oven mitt. You're true. I never thought of it like that. And there it is. Cornish game hens aplenty. Look at that. Doesn't that look pretty? I'll give it a nice poke in. Here we go. And look at how the leg is just stretching out there, and it's just barely falling off the bone like that. And that's exactly what you want it to be. Oh yeah, that one came right off. Look at that, just right off the bone. Whew, that's hot. That is hot. Now look at that. That is done. That is so done. Oh man. It looks like a chicken. It tastes like a turkey. And it didn't take longer than an hour and 15 minutes to bake. And you didn't have to stand there and baste it or babysit it too much. Succulent, juicy every single time. That is amazing. Now, I want to try and see how well this broccoli turned out. Broccoli! Ew! But you won't be saying it now. That's really good. You know, I was going to say ew as I ate it, but you can't do that with this broccoli. You just can't do it. I was going to just joke and say, ew, that's gross. But I can't do it. I'd be lying if I did. That is actually really, really good broccoli, and it came out perfect. Not too crunchy, not too soggy. Right in the middle, exactly where we need it. So, that's it, man. This is a meal fit for a king. And even if you're not from royalty, you can still benefit from a meal like this. Because you'll agree, if you're not cooking good, you're not eating good. But you don't have to be royalty to eat something like this. But enough of watching me eating this wonderful meal. Why don't you try it yourself and just see how good and succulent and juicy you can make your Cornish game hens at home. And while you're doing that, I'm going to enjoy me mine. So anyway, until next time, this is Cooking with SonicBlu saying I'll see you next time, and don't forget to tune in next time to the Oh Poppet Show, where we'll be featuring Cooking with SonicBlu, the breakfast pizza episode, which will finally be done. I really can't wait for that either, but we'll just see how well that goes. So until next time, remember my credo, if you're not cooking good, you're not eating good. So get some good food, cook it up right, and enjoy some really nice meals. Seasoning, butter.
What foul?
A little tiny piece of cheese got stuck on my finger and it flew off. Yes, it's very. Make sure that you take out those giblets and giblets. Oops, a little bit too much there, but you can never have too much, Chef Paul. The seasoning, not the guy. All right, now once you have your seasoning all nice and evenly spread, Butterfingers. Oh, we're gonna have our share of bloopers tonight. Did you see that thing just take off and fly? That's why they literally call them Butterfingers. I have butter on them now. I need you to melt now. You're Velveeta. You're supposed to melt. You're known for melting, Velveeta. Don't let me down.
Yeah, the melting cheese.
Yeah, so don't let me down, Velveeta, or else I'll have to take you back to the store and say this cheese is defective.
It doesn't melt.
It doesn't melt.
It look at you pretty strange, but...
But you've had my broccoli before. Come on,
I don't remember it.
You do. You ate it all. Did I? I gave you about 2 florets, and you wolfed them down like...
I don't remember that.
I do.
Well, you do.
Because I was the one who made it.
Well, joke's on me then, I guess.
It is.
Yeah.
All right, let's take... And don't forget the cheese. Okay, that's more than what it deserves. Would I do that? No. You gotta slather that stuff on. Oh, look at how well it clings to that, too. It just kind of oozes right there and stays right in place, exactly where it needs to be. Oh, it's done. Being careful not to spill.
Where are you going to put it?
I don't know. Okay, let me put this down. Oh, that's hot. Well, you're a hot dog. You should be used to it. Yeah, you're right. Okay, well, that's what happens when you have weird pop-it characters in the kitchen. But anyway, I digress.